Thank you to Thomas Moreira for these 4 suggestions.
Hello everybody, this is JT Productions and I'm back with another preview and prediction video. Today I'll be doing the Washington State Cougars. Let's go. In 2021, the Washington State Cougars went 7-6, 6-3 in the Pac-12 with a loss in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl to a Central Michigan. Now Central Michigan, pretty good group of 5 team. They've gotten better with Jim McElwain as their head coach. They love to run the ball. That's what they love to do. Some losses that really were kind of out there were Utah State at home week 1 by 3. Another loss was BYU, which that's understandable. They lost to USC in a blowout, which by the end of the season you wonder how did that happen. Then at Utah, which that was fine. At Oregon, that was just fine. And, of course, BYU. They did have some good wins, like a blowout win at California, win against Oregon State, win against Stanford, and a blowout win against their state rival, Washington. So, let's look at what they're working with for this year. Well, they got a stud quarterback transfer in from Incarnate Ward called Cameron Ward. Cameron Ward. He lit the FCS on fire last year. This story honestly reminds me of Bailey Zappi from last year, a guy who absolutely lit up the group of the absolutely blew up the FCS and went to the group of 5 at Western Kentucky and broke Joe Burrow's passing yards and passing touchdowns record. That's what that reminded me of. Now, can he do that in the Power 5? That's a good question. Well, he's got something working for him. He's coming in to one of the worst conferences in the Power 5, the Pac-12. So that's a plus. You're not playing as great of talent as you would in the Big Ten or the SEC. Now a con is it's a lot faster in the Power 5 than it is in the Group of 5 or the FCS or anything like that. Can he adjust before they play a team that can take advantage of him not really being experienced with the Power 5? That's the question for him. Will he be a boom or will he be a bust? That's another question. Another good thing for Washington State is they added 4 defensive transfers. At D-tackle, you got one for Virginia and Nusi Malani. You got at linebacker, Dalen Hensley from Nevada. You got in the secondary, you got 2. Jordan Lee, senior transfer from Nevada. And then Sam Lockett, redshirt transfer from Utah State. So, your defense should improve. That's going to be a good thing. Can it improve enough? That's the question. Now, wide receivers, you got some young guys. You got redshirt freshman Dazon Stribling. You got Donovan Ali, redshirt junior. Lincoln Victor, senior transfer. So, let's see how they'll do. The first game, hold on. I just need to slow down because I almost forgot. We need to look at their recruiting. So, Washington State is ranked in recruiting at number 58 over the past 5 years. Not that good. In fact, pretty terrible. This year, 64th in the country. Last year, 61st. 2020, 55th, 2019, 67th, and 2018, 47th. Their best year was when Mike Leach was still there. So, how do they rectify it? Well, we'll see on the field. You got to develop talent. You got to get people at the transfer portal. So, speaking of that, let's see how they'll do this year to maybe help their recruiting. Week 1, the Idaho Vandals, one of my favorite mascot names, come into town. And I think you get a big win. Idaho is not going to be able to keep up and this will be a good game for Cameron Ward to kind of get a handle of the FBS. Before going on the road to Camp Randall for one of his biggest tests and one of the biggest non-con games of the year. This is going to be a big game for both Graham Mertz, Cameron Ward, and both Wisconsin and Washington State. Wisconsin has one of the best defenses in the country. They have for the past couple of years. They may take a small step back from last year. I think it's going to be a very close game, very low scoring. But I think in the end, I think that talent breaks out. And I think Washington State gets the win on the road in Camp Randall, setting the tone of momentum for at least the next couple of games in the season. So, next week you play Colorado State. They're on a parental downturn. So, I think you get the win there. So, you're 3-0 before hosting Oregon. Oregon at this point have one or two losses maybe. Definitely won to Georgia in week 1. However, it's not going to be an easy game. They still have defensive potential. They have one of the best defensive coordinators coming as their head coach. So, I think it's going to be a close one, but I do think at this point in the season, Cameron Ward, whether he's a boom or a bust, they'll figure that out and either get a new guy in or he'll be willing and dealing and they will get a win at home against Oregon. Then they host California. California, I've said it in previous videos, is kind of going to be a giant killer in this season, in my opinion. They're not going to have the most talent, but I think they still have Chase Garbers, and he's a pretty good quarterback, so I think Cal comes into Pullman and gets a win, kind of knocking off a pretty good and momentum-toting Washington State team. Then you have to go on the road to USC. This is not going to be an easy turnaround. USC is going to have one of the best offenses in the Pac-12. I can already see it. So I think that you drop 2 games in a row and are 4-2 at this point before going to a second road game. And like I've said in multiple other videos, back-to-back road games are very tough. So we'll see how they do. And I think that they get a big turnaround at Oregon State and get a win. So they're 5-2, but we're going to their bye week before they face Utah. Utah is going to be one of the best teams in the Pac-12. I'm going to go ahead and say it. And if you've watched my Utah video, you already know how this goes. I think Utah gets the win and gets Washington State to 5-3. So they're 5-3 at this point. They go on their last 4 games are on the road at Stanford, at home against Arizona State, at Arizona, and then at home against Washington State. Not a bad stretch of games by any means. Their worst half of the schedule they've already gotten through. So I think that they at Stanford get the win. Against Arizona State, I think they get the win. At Arizona, get the win, and then Washington get the win. I think that they're going to get on a stretch of games after that loss to Utah, and I think Cameron Ward may come into his own. So they'll have a chance to make the Pac-12 championship if things swing their way. I think they finish the season 9-3 with 3 losses in the Pac-12 and end up getting a pretty good bowl game if they don't make the Pac-12 championship. So hope y'all enjoyed this so far. Hope y'all are enjoying these preview predictions. I'm going to try to finish it like I've said in the past before week 0. I'm on good track to do that. And then after this, I may do some kind of previews for the beginning of the season, kind of look at the conferences, see how they may shake out. But that's just trying to brainstorm ideas, if you know what I mean, to make this off-season kind of shorter. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Just keep the suggestions rolling, and I'll keep on making them. So if you enjoyed, let me know in the comments and let me know a suggestion. But anyways, have a great day and go Dogs.